Alright guys, so right now in the underground there are two artists who are pretty clearly at the very top, both commercially, hype, you can even say creatively, but obviously that's totally up for debate. Whatever you think, they're definitely top 3 at least. And those two artists are Osamason and Nettspend. Now, for a long time, both these artists were, I guess you could say, pretty close friends. I believe Osamason gave him like a cake or something on his birthday, and you know, they have plenty of music, and fans even compared them to Uzi and Playboi Carti, and they're like, oh my god, this is the new 1629 and all that. But recently they fell out and they both are kind of like competing with each other. And this was made most evident when Osamason and Nettspend dropped the very same day, last Friday, and immediately every underground page was rage baiting. So what I mean by rage baiting, first of all, let me define rage baiting. Rage baiting is when somebody posts something and they just are fishing for engagement. And basically they're just trying to make fans get mad, or just anybody get mad, so they get a response and they just get a bunch of engagement. That's what rage baiting is. People do in the streaming community, and recently they've been doing it a lot in music, especially, even more specifically on Twitter. So for example, Bobalam posted this tweet. It was Osamason's song, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Nettspend's song, F Swag. What's interesting is I Know What You Did Last Summer has a remix to it with Nettspend on it, which is called California Crazy, and it's been previewed even. And both these songs are also produced by the same producer, We Gon' Be Okay. Now, if you look at the views, Nettspend has 62k views in just 44 minutes. And Osamason says 61k in 7 hours. So it's like, whoa, Nettspend blew him out the water. Now, obviously, if you're a reasonable fan, you would know, and if you're thinking logically, I mean, you would know, okay, Nettspend is on Lyrical Lemonade, the channel has 20 million subscribers, Nettspend has hardly dropped. His hype for his rollout is crazy, you know. It makes sense that what Osamason has done maybe in a day almost, Nettspend is doing in hardly an hour, right? However, on Twitter, it's like, oh my god, he's blowing him out the water, and you know, if you just look at the comments, they're all like, yo, a channel with 22.5 million subscribers outviewed a channel with 70k. How is this riveting news? I mean, it's a Lyrical Lemonade video. Month-old leak versus Lyrical Lemonade with 22 million subs. Bobalam, you are 35 years old. All right, guys, chill on the personal stuff. But others were like, damn, Net got more aura than Lil O. I never thought I'd see the day. Someone else said, people saying it's because it's on Lyrical Lemonade don't realize Net pulls just as much, if not more, on his own channel. And honestly, yeah, I guess I think Nothing Like You did the same amount of numbers as well. It's really not that crazy, right? However, this was like the talk of the town for like one day, I guess you could say. And it did lead to quite a lot of conversation. Like some other fans, I guess you just say haters of Osamason, and the Playboi Carti community said, AI Ken Carson versus creative mastermind, no surprises here. Someone else said, Nettspend better than Osamason. Anyways, and by the way, remember like when Uzi and Carti were beefing? Lil Uzi said, soon as he drop, I'm gonna drop again. It might not have been Carti, to be honest. Nettspend Central said Net and Osamason right now, and definitely seems like they're competing. There's even this one like fake DM with We Gon' Be Okay, where someone said, lol, we won California Crazy, shit not dropping. I don't know, whenever they fake DMs, they always make the quality look like shit. It's like almost like a dead giveaway. And a lot of fans even said that like Net did the beat more justice. Kind of crazy. But anyways, let's talk about this. So who's gonna go further? First of all, I think right now it's clear that Nettspend has a lot more hype. You know, Nettspend and Osamason, although they were kind of in similar spots, you could say 6 months, 12 months ago, or they're both at the top, they've taken different routes with how they want to drop and just drop their music and just the strategy overall for their careers. You know, Osamason, he decided to drop mixtapes. He decided, yo, I'm gonna be a mixtape rapper. I'm gonna just keep dropping and build up my fan base and build my catalog and get a solid discography, and that's not a bad idea. You know, he's done well for himself. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. The cons are, you know, you don't just have one big flop and it messes up your entire career. It can really swing things in the other direction. You have a lot of movement. You keep your fans engaged. You can be less rare, which means you can do more shows. You can just, it's definitely the safer option. Probably has to work a little harder, but maybe not work harder, but it's what a lot of rappers do. It's pretty conventional. Let's talk about the cons though. The cons are, hey, at a certain point, fans can get tired of Osamason and he can burn his sound out fast. And let's talk about it. Number one, you know, let's think about like the whole Ken Carson or whatnot clone allegation. You know, a lot of Ken Carson fans who just aren't familiar with Osamason's background or the type of beats he used to hop on and this or that, or Slime Crew, all his like friends and You know, like Osanta, 1AM, TDF, the producer, OKMar, Wildcard Uno, all of them. They just think, yo, this is like an Osamason. This is a Ken Carson clone. And I'm not even joking. A lot of fans think that, you know, his image hasn't really been doing him too many favors either. Now, all these things put him at risk of getting burnt out. You know, after a certain amount of tapes, fans could just get annoyed of Osama. You know, this happens all the time in entertainment, and this happens in Hollywood. You know, like Jennifer Lawrence, she was super loved, and then she was just in every movie, and then people started hating her like crazy. Didn't really do anything. They just saw her too much. With Osama, or a lot of these artists, you know, like they're loved because they're like the trending artists, or it's cool artists to be. They're not cool for everyone, as I said. A lot of people think it's a clone, but you know, the next one comes up, and then they're like, okay, on to the next. A lot of these fans are just shallow. With Osama, whether that happens or not depends on the movies he makes creatively. It seems like to me, not even just like regular like dropping music and whatnot. I would say that, hey, you know, he's dropping quite consistently. I believe he's dropping a new tape with We Gonna Be Okay pretty soon this year. But next year, how's he gonna keep fans' attention? How's he gonna grow? How's he gonna grow visually? How's he gonna grow musically? You know, like that all plays a part in it. And that's his risk. Now let's look at Nettspend, okay? Nettspend has taken the opposite approach to Osamason. You know, Nettspend is like, every time he drops, it's like, whoa, what the fuck? It's almost as if it's like a mini version of Cardi. I'm not even joking. The thing about Nettspend, a lot of people fail to realize, is he has this cult fan base. Like, I don't know if you remember, but all of like the hottest, biggest underground artists, they all had like crazy fan bases. Like Summers and Slay World and Can and Autumn back in the day, even Eat, they had like the craziest fan base. They would make like the most insane gay jokes. They would make brain rot memes before brain rot was like as a term was coined, you know? They would do the most for them, and that's honestly a sign of having a really strong fan base. You know, to me, there are like two different fan bases that are really invested in their artists. It's women and it's young people, you know? Women, I don't know, they're just more emotionally invested. I feel like younger people they just have more time. They're more chronically online, and you can just look at the amount of memes and brain rot memes made about Nettspend. It's insane. So yeah, Nettspend has a lot more attention around it. Like, I don't really see that as much with Osamason. So he has that going for him. The next thing is we got to talk about his strategy. He hasn't dropped like crazy. At first he was dropping like crazy when he was getting on. The moment he got really hot, he knew when to stop. He did all the right moves. He dropped Nothing Like You. He did that one song. Obviously that kind of got botched. He just did F Swag. Every time he's dropped a song, it's become a huge moment. It's very similar to Cardi, really, the way he's kind of handled the strategy, and it's working out for him so far. Now, the pros of this, as we've discussed, is, you know, let's say he dropped like Osama dropped. He would not be as hot as he is right now. You know, it just kind of it just makes it harder for you to blow up. Not impossible, but just harder. Another person this actually kind of reminds me of is Sofago. Sorry, his nose pressed. Sofago took the same approach as Nettspend somewhat. You know, he took a long time to drop his album, similar to how Nettspend is. However, when Sofago was dropping singles, and just his rollout in general was not very good. There was no moments. There was nothing fans were really waiting for. There weren't really grails like that. He was dropping like exclusives and stuff along the way. It got delayed a bunch of times. Fans would be like, what's dropping? When he finally dropped it, it was mid. So I would say it's a bit unfair to compare, but it's the closest thing we have to a comparison. Now with Nettspend, there's been a lot of snippets previewed. There are definitely some grails. The singles have all been pretty good. That one song was like, alright. And it's really just gonna come down to his album, meaning that if he flops or his album is bad and, you know, it sells poorly and it flops, it's kind of, I won't say game over, but he's gonna get clowned like crazy. People are not gonna be kind to him, like you could say. If it does well, however, you know, it'll age a lot better because there won't be a bunch of mixtapes. When you have a bunch of mixtapes, it kind of drowns out your discography. You know, it's hard to make stuff stand out, and that's what you kind of see with Osamason. He doesn't have like that one big single. I mean, kind of like here and there, if you're a fan of him, you could say it, but not the same, you know? So yeah, I would say it definitely creates more lasting power, makes your stuff marinate a lot more with fans, and it's just a more high risk, high reward strategy that he's taking, and if he does everything right, it'll work. Another thing is, let's just look at the marketability of these artists. You know, Osamason, his music is cool, but as we've stated, or as we've spoken about, it's not as unique as it could be. Nettspend's is, but however, Nettspend's music being, I'm saying unique, a lot of people just think it's trash, whatever you think about it. It definitely makes it a little harder for it to appeal to a broader audience, but I think we've seen with artists like Cardi, you don't need like the craziest, your music doesn't need to be super palatable. You could just appeal to a large enough like teenage young audience and you could look at Ken Carson, even Lonely, look at all these, they're pretty big. Look at Yeet even. Now, will Nettspend reach those heights? We'll just have to see. But back to the original point in I guess from the title and the thumbnail and the beginning of the video, who will go farther? If I had to put money on it, I would say Nettspend. You know what I mean? It's hard to say though. Of course, you can't be fair, but I think Nettspend. I think Osama just has to be creatively a little more different. I feel like he's getting a little comfortable. You know, we're gonna be okay. It's cool, but you know, and all the rest of producers are cool. But I think he just has to do something different. I don't know what. To kind of grow and really make his stamp as an artist. I think he lacks a lot of respect. Nettspend lacks a lot of respect as well, but at the end of the day, potential-wise, seems like he's got more. But only time will tell. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Read them, respond to some. Genuinely curious what you guys think. But yeah, that's it for video, and see you tomorrow. Bye.